Alright then, so here's another VOD review. This one's a couple days older than oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah, this one's a couple days older than some of the other ones, but it's a bit of a shorter one, and I think it's information we probably should be going over. So at this point we're running. Oh, I should also note this was a 5. This is a 5 stack. We're down a Cooper on this day, so we're running random for the McCree. We lose our Brig very early. Okay, how did our Brig get low in the first place there, and how did she die to the fire strike? Alright, so let's see what happens here in this fight. I'm curious how that happened. So the Brig's just kind of roaming to start with. Jumps up on top of the truck. She takes a jump. Okay, that's kind of unlucky. You just got spammed out there. There's not really too much I can say about that. I would have kind of preferred to play a little bit further back, because you do get pretty decent AoEs. But we are trying to play aggressively in this composition, so it's not really your fault. But we should have been more aware of the Junkrat spam. In the case of the Junkrat, we didn't recognize the Junkrat, but if we had recognized the Junkrat, you're supposed to pull back in that scenario. So we rotate. Some of us do, at least the May and the Zarya do rotate to this right side where the Reinhardt is, putting pressure on him. A big wall, but the wall, he's just able to sneak out. But the McCree also does get himself out of position through that. So we push forward on that. Our Reinhardt gets trapped, but we get the McCree for it. Our Reinhardt shield gets very low. We spam that out. We lose our Reinhardt because we already used bubble. And the Lucio. Okay, I also want to see why we lost the Lucio here. This seems kind of big misplay. Okay, yeah. So the biggest problem here is that he just went too far forward on the Lucio here, because the Reinhardt, he was here or whatever, he was very low already, and his shield would have been like this or whatever if his shield is up. So being out here, the Moira can already, and the Zenyatta probably both can already see you here. You'd want to, if you're trying to just kind of play on the wall, but this wall is perfectly fine for that over here, or you don't necessarily need to be playing on the wall at all times. But this positioning gets you pinned when he pushes forward. Yeah, how does this fight go after this? So yeah, it looks like they should be able to clean this fight up now. And they do. And yeah, so we just give up first point, and they start pushing second. As far as ultimates go, we probably think they have Shatter. They just use Coalescence. They're pretty close to most of their ultimates as well. We lose our Reinhardt. They Shatter. The Shatter hits nothing because we're able to fade out of it. It's a nice fade. And we gave space for that. So the Lucio's pushing forward. We're getting close to beat. The Diva goes up and dives our McCree, but the McCree should be able to take care of himself at least a little bit here. He drops back down to point. I think the Discord Orb might get him killed. They pop Tire and Transcendence. Tire gets killed by the McCree. We get a big wall that isolates them. We lose our Lucio. We're just trying to stall. We pop High Noon. They pop Bomb though. Kills both our DPS. But with Coalescence, which Coalescence is fine, I guess, in that situation. the end of the day, we should have it back in a fight or two afterwards. And it's coalescence, so you have it. And they use their coalescence as well, so it doesn't really matter too much. I'm kind of indifferent to that usage. So we're just kind of pressuring. We have Shatter pretty close to grab. We know the only ultimate they, or as far as our tracking goes, they should be having Transcendence and they should have High Noon. Because he's already most of the way with Shatter. I don't think we were tracking Shatter fast enough. Or he got a lot of Shatter in the previous fight. Our Moira gets 2-tapped by the Junkrat, which is unfortunately pop High Noon. Zarya Bubble protects her. Everyone else's Ice Block used by the Mei, and the Rhine Shield keeps him up. Lucio comes out. And he's just trying to be with his team. They Shatter again because we weren't expecting them to have Shatter. So that's poor ult tracking on us. We pop the Mei ult, we pop the freeze. We lose our Zarya. Lucio and McCree are on point. The Mei is as well, and the Mei should be able to help kind of clean up. Mei goes down, so everyone is down right now. Says Lucio. Lucio beats just a stall. I think we called this beat. This beat should have been used earlier than this. We should have. Basically, as soon as you got up from the shadow, you should have used it, because that would have probably kept your Kree and your Zarya alive as well, and your Mei, which may have made this fight a bit easier to have won. But I think we're good either way. Big Shatter stops the tire. Zarya comes back. Both tanks are back on point now. It's just the Moira and the Reinhardt. We pop our High Noon on point again. Yeah, that very quickly. High Noon zones them off point. They pop the Transcendence, so they're investing into this ultimate, or they're investing ults into this point. At this point, which is a very poor choice. The Moira, everyone's just kind of putting damage in. Target party is pretty bad, but we focus their Zen down pretty shortly afterwards. Zen goes down, Mei goes down, or Diva goes down. Ball probably gets out. McCree goes into the right room, goes down. Yep, and we win this fight. They're just throwing more junk spam. Going to this next fight, they swapped off the Reinhardt to contest that there, and I don't know if they actually look like they're going to try and stick with it for now. But other than that, they only have Diva Bomb. As far as our ultimates go, we have Freeze and we have Coalescence. Cameron's just trying to... I don't really know what he's doing. We get their Junkrat though pretty early, which is good. Ball's on the point. Just trying to spin to win. He backs out. We're just giving a lot of space, but I mean, we don't really care. We're playing a very close composition and they're just junk spamming right now. So if we can avoid as much of this damage as possible, the better for us. They get our Moira with the Hammond spinning around. He pops the mines. And we pop High Noon to defend ourselves again. High Noon on the right side of point here. Diva chases to try and DM, but she gets demech. Which is kind of weird. That would happen. We grab, we Blizzard again. They pop their High Noon. Their High Noon kills 2 of ours. I don't like this Lucio positioning again. We didn't, I mean, if we were tracking High Noon, then it probably would have been worse. But we aren't really tracking ultimates, which is, I think, the biggest problem of why we're losing Lucio to bad positioning. Which is the main support's job. The main support should be trying to be more on top of how the ultimates are going. But you end up dying. You're unable to use your beat again. So you're holding on a beat now. And we just push forward. But we still win the fight, so it doesn't really matter. We chase this Moira. We can keep chasing. We kill her. We get our Zarya out. Are you on speed boost? Are you on healing boost? Looks like you're on healing boost right now. Right? F4. Yeah, you're on healing. You should be on speed. Because there's no reason to really be healing the Zarya. She's so close to full health right now. You already have beat. You're just trying to get her back to the point. Jump spam breaks our Zarya bubble. They swap back to the Reinhardt. We have Shatter. We throw the Shatter, and Shatter hits 2. But the Reinhardt does block it from himself. We kill their... That was really nice right click. We kill their Junkrat. Their Rhine pins in. He connects to a Moira. That's unfortunate. Diva puts a bomb on point. Mei walls it off though. So Zarya uses her bubble. Mei uses her wall. And no one dies to the Diva bomb. Rhine comes back with a pin onto point. Connects with the Diva. And the Mei and the Zarya are focusing on this Reinhardt right now. Lucy's in there to help kind of with the cleanup. I would, especially with the health that the tanks are at, I can see why you want to heal the Reinhardt, especially with the Moira dead still. I would. Actually, I don't think I think I would. I don't really care at this point. What you stay on. We're trying to save this Kree though. So keeping that in mind. But it doesn't really matter too much. We chase the D.Va and the Moira. We get the D.Va out of mech. Oh, jeez.
You are asking for it.
You are asking for it.
30 seconds.
Alright, so we're just kind of spamming in now. Trying to get some more cleanup kills if we can. We get our May out. Everyone backs up now. Going to this next fight. They swapped to the Echo instead of the Junkrat. They have the Soldier instead of the McCree now. But other than that, composition has stayed the same as the last couple fights. They're running the Reinhardt. They're pretty close to Shatter, but we're about equal on Shatters. We have Beat, we have Coalescence, we have Grab, we have all 6 ultimates pretty much going into this last fight. And they basically have Shatter and Visor to make something happen. Lucy's just kind of riding around. And yeah, I did tell you kind of ride around and always just kind of be like off the ground, but in kind of a broader picture thing, what is the purpose of being up here? Are you just taking flanks just to kind of take flanks? Are you know, on Lucio, one of the most important things is making sure you're always contributing to your team. So if we were going to play aggressively here, if we're going to aggressively use maybe the Graviton or something like that, then you'd be close to your Reinhardt. You can be up on the wall and whatever, but you need to be close to your Reinhardt and speed boost them in so that we can go for that grab. If we're playing defensively, then you kind of, usually if we're playing defensively with Lucio, you're hiding somewhere. You should be hiding like back here waiting. Or the other viable thing is we have a Moira, so it's not as big a deal, but you can be playing with your flex support and just protecting them. Because right now just kind of buzzing up on the high ground up here really isn't getting too much value, but they aren't punishing it at the same time. But kind of have to think about the reason why you're standing where you are. They pop the Visor. We should beat now. We pop the Grav. Their Reinhardt shatters. We pop Beat. We pop Coalescence into the Grav. We pop Shatter. We clean up the fight. We should win off of that. Alright then. So we win that. Now for the part that wasn't quite as good. We get full held here on first. So, to start off with, they're playing the Sigma Rhino composition, which is a very weird choice. I don't really like this composition. It's very bad in a lot of different ways. It's a very slow Reinhardt composition, which Reinhardt doesn't like to play slow. You play Orisa instead of the Reinhardt in this situation. Though I have to say in the Overwatch League, as of this week when I'm recording this, they are actually doing the Reinhardt Sigma because the Orisa is banned and they still want to play the slow composition. But overall, Reinhardt's only value in that composition is the shield, whereas Orisa does get damage and Orisa's ult is very good in the slow composition. Other than that, though, they're playing the Moira and the Mercy as they were before, and then they're running Echo and Ashe. The Ashe is probably damage boosted by this Mercy for most of this game, and I think that's the main source of a lot of our problems on this match. So going in, we kind of walk through and we make the call that we want to quickly rotate to the left here. There's an Ashe Dynamite here, and I don't think we blocked this off well. Yeah, this is going to be really hard for us to coordinate, especially because we don't have Zarya Bubble at this point. The Brig Shield can block the LOS on it, or... And this is something just macro overall we should get. If we're playing the Zarya composition against this Ashe, one of the things that we can always try and do to get better at dealing with this Dynamite, because this seems to be a big problem for us, is someone can just stand on top of it, like call it out, I'm going to, you know, we'll have to come up with a call for it, but come up for a call for it. Just say I'm going to stand on the Ashe Dynamite, and then the Zarya can give you projected bubble, and you can stand on it and block it from your team. The Reinhardt we can also wait out the Dynamite first. Because we're going to lose our Brig here because we're speed boosting, which is the right play. And then the Lucio also peels back into this room instead. So we lose our Brig before the fight even starts. The Ryan pins in, but the May block is able to stop him from going any further. He's going to swing. Our Reinhardt's gonna get melted by the Echo. There's a Reinhardt behind us. We kill our Lucio. And they should clean this fight up very quickly. So we go for round 2. At first we don't swap anything, which I don't particularly like. I think especially if we're playing this Ashe composition, it's probably better to run the Moira or the Ana, someone who has higher output heals, just so we can try and play against the Ashe. Ana is really the best choice because you can sleep the Bob. She'll have Bob every other fight as well. She's already 60%. We keep the Brig for a bit longer. So we're just waiting. We're stabilizing, helping our Reinhardt because he got low before the fight even started. And that's another thing is because they're using a very spammy composition, we don't have a lot of heals. It's very hard for us to stabilize. It takes us a very long time because our Reinhardt is still at half health, and it's kind of this composition is kind of dependent to play up close. And when the Reinhardt's low, he can't play up close. So either way, we speed boost through again, do the same thing. They light another big Ashe fire. They're gonna have Bob for this fight. We stun the Reinhardt when he tries to charge in. We should have been more aggro on this. We should have turned around for this Reinhardt. Our Reinhardt does. Everyone does. It just takes us a while for us to decide that that's what we wanted to do. So our Lucio probably dies here to the Bob. The Brigitte gets very low due to that. She dies to that. Our Rein dies. Yeah. So we're just getting outplayed by this Ashe composition because we aren't taking, like, the Reinhardt is getting a lot of space because of the Ashe Dynamite. And then we're not fighting against the Ashe Dynamite well. Because we haven't dedicated a way to shield against it. So we push forward again. Yeah. Dynamite happens again. We'll probably kill the Brig and the McCree. Yeah, so this fight's lost. We just back out again. I don't know if anyone does get away, or I don't know who does and doesn't get away. Looks like pretty much everyone else does. Alright, so we push forward again. We grab early in the intention of trying to make space here. They shatter. They hit a big shatter. We should have been aware of the shatter. We should be tracking the shatter. The fact that we get 4 shattered here, and then they run the Echo on the Reinhardt. They're going to clean this fight up easy peasy. And they do. No surprises there. So we have one more fight. We swapped to the Moira as well, I should mention, for that fight. And we're already almost to Coalescence. We have one more fight left, basically. We have Shatter, we have Blizzard, we have Beat, we have High Noon, we have Freeze, and we have... We have the Coalescence coming up as well. And then we're just waiting here right now. We lose our Lucio to the Ashe. Just here on the flank. Just putting damage in. So we're playing separate from our Reinhardt. 3 of us decided to push on this right side. Reinhardt didn't move. McCree gets killed by the Echo flying over top. And the Ashe kills the Lucio in rotation because there's no main shield. The Reinhardt pins in. We try and counterpin. We can lose our Moira. We have 1 fight left. We regroup and try and get out. Try and just fight this one last time. We beat early with the idea of trying to get to point quickly without dying in this rotation, which it does. It does give us the location of being on point. But now they throw Bob on point. We have nothing to do against Bob. We pop High Noon. They pop the Gravitic Flux. High Noon kills their... It's a big shatter. High Noon kills their Sigma, so it stops the Gravitic Flux, but the Echo's behind, kills our McCree. Bob gets killed. And as far as ultimates go, we used all our ultimates to get here. So they have ultimates to help them clean up. And they win. Yeah. And this kind of was the beginning of a trend for us where we started to have a lot of issues dealing with this Ashe composition for a couple days. Which I think we've, to some extent, kind of gotten a bit better at just on our own. But a big part of it is coordinating how to deal with the dynamites. Because if we're just eating dynamites, she's just getting free ultimate charge. She's just getting a free Bob. We really should run the Ana, I think, is a big part of that. We need to run either the Moira or the Ana for the massive amount of heals, and then we need to run... I think the Ana is the good pick because the shield bash, or not the shield bash, the sleep dart. I think the sleep dart basically stops Bob from getting any value in a fight, as long as we don't wake him up. So I think we should keep that in mind next time we play against an Ashe like this, especially when she's getting damage boosted like this one was.